Well, there you have it. JPDL Week 3 is officially in the books, and you know we have to give a video of the recap of what happened and also the updated power rankings to see where your guys' favorite teams are in the whole league standing. So let's get that going, starting off with the first game, the Thursday night JPDL showdown. Going in on Thursday night, we had Boston versus Philly. Number 4 ranked at the time, Philadelphia Frauds, taking on the number 9 at the time, Boston Baller Brand. A game that we thought was going to be easy turned out to be a struggle in the other direction. All right, I don't know how to choose Philly. I can't choose Philly games anymore because I've missed every single Philly pick. And I'm not going to lie, looking at the points and everything, this is a game that came down to the fact that Philly's new players balled out. Philly's old players, they didn't get it done today. They didn't get it done. They didn't contribute. And Boston Baller Brand was on a roll. Their running backs came to play. We were looking at a little bit of that old Boston Baller Brand type football where it was just Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Run the Rock, Devin Singletary. This was a running team, and they proved it today with over 300, 400 yards rushing on that team alone with 5 touchdowns, I believe, in rushing touchdowns. Something crazy like that. Boston just came to play. And that's where we go to the game changer of the match. There could have been a lot, but I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor. Derrick Henry may have put up the better numbers. Jonathan Taylor, however, started the team off right. 1 o'clock games. He got the team going, put up 26 points. Aaron Jones also put up 23, so I could have put him in there. But Jonathan Taylor, he was a guy that Boston Baller Brand is relying on. Basically the team captain of that team. And he finally put the ship back in motion and said, hey, we're number 9 right now. We got to get back up in those rankings, and we need to get a win on our record. And that's exactly what they did. So Jonathan Taylor will be getting the game changer of the match. And Boston, like I said last video, this was a must win for both teams, and Boston wanted it more. Philly, hopefully you come back next week against whatever team you guys are playing. But until then, Boston takes the win. Let's go to the next game, the 1 o'clock game. For the 1 o'clock game, we have Coach Mills and the Las Vegas Hurdlers, who are ranked 7, going up against the Washington Kickball team, who was ranked number 3 as of last week. And let's be honest, this was the first time that Las Vegas had actual competition. All right, going up against Boston last week was not an impressive win. Going up against Dallas Lax Bros was not an impressive win, but this one here was. This one here impacts how the audience feels about Las Vegas and Coach Mills. Coach Mills' ability to coach is underrated. I'll give him that. He has talent, and he somehow finds a way to mix and match a lot of his talent, even though his captain, Patrick Mahomes, is not playing up to par like the way we thought it would. We need to understand that going into a lot of these games, we should not expect 40-point ball games from players. But for some reason in back-to-back weeks, Coach Mills is getting that out of an individual every week, and no one is able to compete with someone who puts up 40 points in a ball game. All right, which is why the game changer of the match has to go to Juwan Jennings. All right, 3 touchdowns, 150 yards plus. He was the guy that really solidified this win. I believe it was at 4 o'clock. It was a 4 o'clock game, I believe. In this game, it really just, at 4 o'clock, once Juwan Jennings got going, Vegas Hurdlers got going. They got going, and Washington could not keep up. Hurdlers came out to play, proved themselves against a top team in the league, and, they did that, and there's nothing else we can say. We cannot question the Hurdlers really much anymore, if not at all. So, with that being said, Hurdlers advance to 3-0. Washington goes to 1-2. That's probably going to affect the power rankings. There's a lot of things else we could say about this game. 6-1 now turns to 7-1. I believe that Coach Mills is against Coach Luther. So again, some reason Las Vegas has Washington's number, and they continue that streak. Let's go on to the next game. Okay, for this next game, we had the Atlanta Juicers number 1 taking on the then number 10 Dallas Lax Bros. A game that we had said before the week that this was a lock. There was nothing that Dallas can do. And that's still true. There was nothing at all Dallas could do to stop Atlanta. All right. This game is over. This game's been over. It didn't matter if Coach Bigby had 2 players playing Monday night or 4 players playing Monday night. This game was going to be over. some keys to the future. Let's look into the future right now, because we already know Coach Bigby's team. We're looking at the scores and everything. We're looking at the point values. Coach Bigby's team's going to get it done. And he has a player who's really playing outstanding football, if I'm not going to lie to you. But something to look forward to for Dallas. All right. Rome Odunze balled out. He's proving himself as a rookie who is capable of actually putting up some points. Quentin Johnston, back-to-back weeks with a touchdown. Hey, Quentin Johnston was a bust. Maybe Dallas is starting to change him up, starting to fix him up a little bit. We have rookies on this team. And then 2025, we're only going to add more talent. We have Brock Purdy. Tua is hurt as of right now. But, the sky is looking a little bit more blue than it did yesterday for Dallas Laxbros, even though it was a not traumatic loss, because I bet the fans knew. But it was a loss in which there are positives to take out of it. Rome Odunze had one of those incredible games where it looks like he could be a franchise-changing wide receiver for a fantasy dynasty league team. But as for Ethan and Coach Bigby, the game changer of the match has to go to Saquon Barkley for the third week in a row. This time, 32 points. Now that Saquon has 3 game changers of the match in the first 3 weeks, the trifecta, Coach Bigby, if anybody wants to beat Coach Bigby, they have to defend Saquon Barkley. They're going to have to stop his running game. I don't know if it can be done, but as we know it right now, it has to be stopped. Somebody has to stop him. I don't know who's going to do it. Last week was Saquon's worst week, and he's still one game changer of the match. So, there's nothing you can do for that. As of right now, Atlanta gets the win. Let's go to the Sunday night football game. The battle that used to be of New York, now Vice City versus New York itself. 67ers business. We have Coach Montague taking on Coach Diaz. And this game was tough for New York. I think we knew it going in that it was going to be tough for New York. New York said that they were locked in. I believe I did say in the prediction video last week, the main goal and what it's going to come down to is whether or not the business can beat the New York 67ers in the RB1 and RB2 slot. The Kyron Brees against Ty Chandler, Jerome Ford. This was a matchup that Vice City Business needed to kill. I'm talking about slaughter. And that is exactly what Vice City Business did. Game changer of the match for this game has to go to Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams finally proved himself one time with a 30-point performance against a rival in New York 67ers. A game that Ahmad and the Vice City Business needed to win. And that's exactly what he did. And Kyron was the workhorse back. He was the workhorse back that got it going during the 4 o'clock games. And, Vice City is a real threat in this league. Let's not get it twisted. Let's go to the Monday night final matchup. For the Monday night matchup, we had the Los Angeles Flames and Coach Fitzgerald, number 2 ranked, taking on Coach Daigle and the number 5 ranked Toronto Mystics. All right, this was a game that is heavily considered a rivalry, and that's exactly what we got today. This was a game of defense, all right? Just because offense wasn't scored does not mean this was not a difficult, hard-fought game. This was a defensive masterclass. Coach Fitzgerald just happened to pull off the win here today. He just happened to. It was a game where it really came down to the knit and grit. All right, looking at the players' scores and everything, what really hurt was the jumbo package for Coach Daigle did not work. It wasn't the ultimate jumbo package. Let's not get it twisted. Not all 4 tight ends played at the same time because George Kittle was caught with an injury late. 13 points from 3 players combined isn't going to cut it when you're looking at tight ends. Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews, and Brock Bowers. And Mark Andrews, a 0 ball. Coach Daigle is one of those guys who puts out the best roster, puts out the best lineup, and doesn't regret anything. I think he's the type of guy who doesn't regret anything. He thinks about it hard, says, hey, I was going to put this guy in no matter what. Whatever he gives, that just is what it is. And Mark Andrews, Los Angeles had Lamar Jackson. It was a good counter. Everything that Coach Daigle did was somewhat of a counter to what Coach Fitzgerald was running. Coach Fitzgerald has DK, Geno, Lamar, Mark Andrews. I mean, this was strategic level ball play from Coach Daigle and the Toronto Mystics, but they just weren't able to pull it off. Game changer of the match. Jaden Daniels, stop playing with your boy, all right? He had to get the game changer of the match, all right? When it came down to it, this game led to Monday night. And in Monday night, somebody had to be the guy to take the freaking LA Flames and bring them up and secure the win. And Jaden Daniels not only did that, but he secured it by 20 points, over 20 points. In a game that was predicted to probably be a defensive game, Toronto just couldn't hold on in the end. Jaden was the guy. Jaden is the future of the LA Flames. You heard it here first. Game changer of the match goes to that dude right over there in red wearing number 5. If LA Flames don't have his jersey by now, everybody should stock up on this jersey because it is going to sell out quick. Jaden is that guy. Jaden is what legends are formed and made of. Jaden is going to be the future of the LA Flames. So bet your money right now. Game changer of the match. Rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels in a Monday night where he had to be the guy for both the Washington Commanders and the LA Flames. That's your game. That's all you have to say about it. Let's go to the updated power rankings before I even start ranting even more than I already have. Now here we go, looking at the power rankings after week number 3. At number 1, we have the Atlanta Juicers solidifying their role, 3-0. You can't hate it. You can't say much about it. Their roster's elite, and they're proving it on the field. At number 2, you have the Los Angeles Flames staying put where they are at. Number 3 team being the Las Vegas Hurdlers sitting at 3-0, a jump from 4 spots. I said, and I quote myself, this is your chance to prove it by playing a top 7 team, let alone the number 3 team at the time, Washington Kickball Team. And that's exactly what Las Vegas did, which is the reason why they go up. Now, here we go. I'm ready to explain this because this is a key part to the power rankings. Do I believe that Coach Mills and the Las Vegas Hurdlers have the 3rd best roster in John Paul Fantasy Dynasty League? No, I do not believe that. But you know why he is number 3? Because he is putting a lineup out every week that is beating the teams that I think have a better roster on paper. How hard is that to understand? Number 4, Vice City Business. All right, they got their job done. They beat New York. They deserve to go up at 2-1 in the power rankings. I had them at number 4 just off the simple fact that we're sleeping on Vice City. Their roster is good. They know how to get it done. They battled a rivalry team and got it. That's what they deserve. At number 5, Washington Kickball Team. They took a massive hit after losing to Las Vegas. They did. They took a massive hit. I did not expect Washington Kickball Team to go out the way they did. Again, Las Vegas put up a 160-plus point performance. I cannot let that go unnoticed against a number 3 ranked at the time team in Washington. They had to go down. They went down 2 spots to the number 5. At the number 6, Toronto Mystics, simply off the fact that they lost. They did only lose to they lost to a number 2 seed. All right, we understand that. We lost to a number 2 ranked team. So for that, they get a little bit of leeway. They go down only 1 spot. I believe they can definitely pull it up in the future. Their offense wasn't going. At number 7, Philadelphia Frauds, by far the team that's falling down my rankings. They are not proving themselves. They came in as a contender and look like a pretender right now. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to say that because Philadelphia, I believe in you guys. However, I'm not picking your guys' games anymore because I don't know which way to pick. Every time I say you guys win, you lose. Number 8, Boston Baller Brand, off the simple fact that, yeah, they did win this week. They beat Philly. Could have made an argument that they're ahead of Philly. Boston, you are number 8. There is a chance you can climb up, come in next week, win your matchup. You're good to go. As for the 9 and 10, the 0-3 teams, and I might have to start bundling these 2 teams together. Dallas, New York, they got to pick it up if they want any chance at winning. They have to be able to pick up their pace. Now, Dallas, I don't believe they are trying to pick up their pace, and I understand that. As for New York, I don't know what they're doing here. But, those are the power rankings. Before I end the video, I like to preview the next week's matchup, starting with New York versus Las Vegas. The most important thing is Coach Mills has a 2-game lead for the bye week in his conference. That is critical. My personal favorite game of the week is going to have to be the Philadelphia versus Washington game for the simple fact that I think this is a game Philly is going to have to throw everything that they have at. Because if they lose this game, looking into week 5, the week afterwards, they have 4-5 starters on bye week. Eagles and Lions. We're talking about the Lions twins with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jalen Hurts is captain quarterback. A.J. Brown, if he even could play, will obviously not play. This has tremendous standing because you could see Philly start the first 5 games off 1-4. So with that being said, had to give you all this video. That's what happened in week 3. Can't wait for week 4. JPDL, let's keep it moving. Let's go.